Slam, jam, ham, bam. It's Hotline League episode 65. I'm so excited to be here with all of you wonderful people. Mark is so excited that he's frozen completely. He's turned into a sky, and he's back. We got so much excitement already happening, and it's only been 10 seconds of the show. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, that's already gone down. There's a whole lot more. We got Damonte on the show. We got Mark on the show. I'm going to introduce both of them in a second, but really quickly, shout out to Alienware for sponsoring the show. I'm going to flash their logo really quickly on there, and everybody in chat can spam the alien emote to show your support of Alienware, support of Hotline League. Either way, let's get into it. Next to me is my constant co-host, Mark Zimmerman. How's it going, Mark?
It's going great. It's going great. It's my second 2-hour talk show about League of Legends and American LCS today.
Mark, can you mute your Skype?
Okay. I thought that was only me. No. I was about to be,
No.
So,
I am a professional.
Can you talk again, Mark?
Yeah, hi.
Okay, well, welcome back. Welcome to your second show. So, yes, earlier you did another show.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
This one's way for us.
This one's what?
Way better.
Okay, good.
But we did have more viewers.
Yes, well, we had more viewers too, and then we lost a couple hundred because the stream reset at the beginning because of some sort of weird crash. I don't know what happened, but that's okay because we never have technical issues on the show, and we won't have any more after Mark's camera froze and the thing happened with the microphone. We're great. What have you been up to lately, though, Mark? Anything interesting besides the show?
I don't think so.
This is depressing.
We have the countdown and stuff did a lot of funny things, I think.
Oh yeah.
And Kobe sang, made Darshan sing.
I was talking about stuff outside of that.
I think this should be the week that the Dungeons and Dragons offline TV thing finally comes out.
Okay.
But
have you talked about that publicly?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mentioned it a couple times.
Okay. So I was hoping it was an official leak. This show only gets views when you talk about offline TV stuff. So.
This is a leak. Yeah.
Okay.
So
good.
Someone should clip it and link it.
Yeah. All right. Good. Maybe I want us to get to a point where every week there's a offline TV thing that you slip into the show. And so all the offline TV people have to come watch Hotline League and suffer through 2 hours of League of Legends conversation they probably don't care about in order to find out what's happening over there.
Yeah, we need to make sure that I do it at the beginning of shows then.
Gotcha. Great. Well, anyway, let's talk about our guest, and let's talk to our guest, Damonte. How's it going, Damonte?
welcome, and it's going great.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy that I'm here.
In 2015, when you messaged me and said, hey, we're going to do an interview when I make it to LCS, did you ever guess that not only would we do an interview, but you'd get to be on a live call-in show?
Honestly, I knew that it would happen sooner or later. I was like the cockiest little 16-year-old, so that's why I messaged you that in the first place. So,
you know, 16 in that? No, you had to be like 17 or 18, right? Because it was 2015 and you're 21 now.
Yeah, I was probably 17.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but I think I was a junior in high school.
Okay. Were you already competing at that point in time, or what happened?
No, I was just like a solo queue player. I was just like doing random stuff.
Okay. And you just knew you were going to go to LCS. That was always the plan.
Yeah, pretty much. Just all in.
Did you see that, Mark? What I tweeted today?
What did you tweet?
So I went to DM Damonte about coming on the show because yesterday we were trying to get a couple owners on, and then it fell through. And so then I went to DM Damonte, and the only DM, there was already an existing direct message conversation from 2015, and it was a message from him. Okay, well, we lost it. It was a message from him saying that he was going to do an interview with me when he joins the LCS. So in 2015, he knew that he'd be joining the LCS and that was going to happen.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's like I remember the Odd Orange was doing that too.
I was a Tanner from high school saying that back then.
That's true. I think that's so funny. And do you remember doing that?
No, I literally didn't remember until you messaged me.
Okay.
Or DM'd me. I was like,
do you remember
shit.
it now though? Or are you just like, I have no recollection of doing this?
I mean, sort of. I was just like a huge fanboy of like the Double Lift and Travis interviews. Like,
oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
And now look at you. So how are things going for you? You guys won this weekend.
Yeah. That was new. Things are going better, I think. I mean, week one we like spiked really hard, and then we fell off like the face of the earth like super hard. And like I don't think anyone on our team expected that. And like then like the last week, we've been playing pretty well in scrims, and our stage matches kind of showed that more too. On Sunday, we kind of messed up. There's a lot of that was on me personally. So it's going good. I think it's going better, and I wouldn't be surprised if like we started going on a win streak or something like that right now.
Yeah. What has been the issue, do you think?
I think after we went 2-0, everyone got way too confident, and like every player got too confident individually, and then we stopped kind of playing as a team. And I think even that 2-0 the first week, we really weren't even that good. It was kind of lucky, and I think the other teams kind of just threw the games. So I think the 6 losses in a row kind of just made everyone realize that we are actually just bad, and everyone got kind of humbled.
I appreciate that it took 6 losses in a row for you guys to decide.
I mean, not every loss was like just us getting destroyed. So
yeah.
Do you watch like preseason power ranking stuff, Damonte, at all, or are you just like a heads down kind of player?
I watch most of them.
So then I have whenever I predict something, I have this weird thing where like I don't necessarily want it to be true for the people involved's sake, but because I said it, I want it to be true. And since I put you guys down, I'm hoping that you guys don't start doing better. I have a very fucked up self-interest.
Mark is rooting
of like,
against you right now. That's how we're starting the show. Is you're letting Damonte know you're actively rooting for Clutch to lose.
I'm keeping it honest. All right. I
appreciate the honesty.
I'm happy that they're doing. As soon as they had the 2-0 week, I was like, well, shit, I'm wrong. Let's see. Let's like hope they kill it. And then they had the streak, and I was like, ooh, maybe I made a good prediction. And now I don't know what to think. But I hope I just did the show with Thorin and Loco, and we were talking about Damonte's role, like in the league, and how like we all want him to kill it. And hope that this goes well.
Yeah.
On a personal level, but at the same time, I'm hoping it doesn't.
not because of you personally, but just because we need hope in North American mids.
Wait, exactly. I feel like Mark. Okay, I feel like I've seen you around a bunch of times, right? Mm-hmm. And I just have this feeling that you don't like me for some reason.
No, see, I think I give that a lot of people get that impression because I just like I'm actually pretty anti. So like I try to avoid eye contact talking with people. And so, like, I think a lot of people think I don't like them.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe this can be the start of a new friendship here.
No, it won't be because, like I said, I'm antisocial.
But Mark, whenever I said that we
okay, fine.
Mark, I'm surprised you say that because whenever I asked you if we could have Damonte on, you said fuck that guy. So I'm a little confused.
Wow.
I don't think that you obviously have no problem showing leaks. So if you can show that
You're kind of cutting out, by the way, for some reason. I don't know if it's maybe you need to change your Discord settings or something. But
no, I was saying, do you have proof that I said this?
No, I don't have proof because it was a call. I called you. I said, "Hey, Mark, I'm thinking about having Damonte on," and you were like, "Yo, that guy," and I was like, "What the heck?"
That absolutely did not happen.
Yeah. Hopefully, guys, I know that Mark's audio is having issues, but hopefully we get it solved. Either way, I'm glad that we're starting the show. The show starts, and Mark is like, "I am actively rooting against your team." Damonte says, "I've always felt like you don't like me," and this has to get addressed. What a great way to start a show! I'm so excited. This is the best Hotline League we've ever had.
It's good to just be, like get these things out of the way so I don't show up awkwardly and there's a caller in here and he's like, "But I just wanted to talk about mid lanes in North America," and then we tangent into this.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, it's good. We just come out hot, and now it's going to be fun for the rest of the show.
Well, yeah. I'm excited. I'm trying to think about other stuff that we should talk to you about, Damonte. Yeah, do you think that this is the swing, or like has everything been solved behind the scenes? Or are you still working on stuff? What's sort of the status of the team?
Definitely not everything's been solved, but definitely the team is finding an identity more now. I think before we were still just figuring out who we want to play through because we have like Huni on top side and Piglet on bot side, and it's like both of the players are gonna really want a lot of resources and they're gonna want to carry it. But now we're kind of figuring out like what players need to give up what in order for us to actually win, and maybe that's gonna look like one player isn't gonna look that great every game, but if we're winning, then who cares? Yeah. I think this definitely is the swing, and going into practice like this week will show that, because if we mess up like one time in one weekend, we're pretty much out of playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is kind of spooky for you guys, I'm sure. Does that mean, wait, how, you don't have to go undefeated now, but you just have to make sure you don't lose to like bottom tier teams, I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Well, I think it's. I still think the race for playoffs is pretty wide open. Like, I don't think Echo Fox, CLG, Golden Guardians, Optic, or Hunter Thieves like look super secure in their position. So I think it's really easy for Clutch to run.
Yeah. Actually, Mark, I was going to ask you a second ago, you brought up your preseason predictions. We are halfway through the split. So maybe at the start of the show, and maybe this is a good way to get some ideas going for the audience for call-ins or whatever, but what do you remember what your preseason rankings were, and maybe we can compare them to where everybody's at now?
Right. So I think I had TL, C9, and then I had 100 Thieves, TSM. I kind of start forgetting the middle.
Okay.
I
100
had
Thieves is definitely not
so the two
performing
things
to what you expected.
right. So the two things I really have wrong right now, I would say FlyQuest and 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
I think I had Fly at 7, and they're pretty good. I had CLG at 6, Golden Guardians at 5th. I had Echo Fox at 9th, Optic at 8th, then Clutch at 10th. So there's a 3-way tie right now for 5th. Or 4-way tie for 5th? Jesus.
Yeah, there's a 4-way tie for 5th. And you say playoffs are wide open, but man, I mean, it kind of feels like maybe the bot, like there's a couple slots there that'll go out, but it feels like the top 3 are, I mean, it's not like they've clinched it, but if they keep playing the way they have been, I think they're going to be fine. And then, I don't know, FlyQuest seems like a pretty good chance of making it into.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there's 4 spots taken, but there's still 2 up, and the other 6 teams fighting for it. So 1 out of 3 teams will make it in. Like, those aren't that bad odds halfway through the season, especially when you look at it as they're all 1 game apart. Like, everyone fighting for that spot are right next to each other.
Yeah. Maybe change your noise gate as well, because I think maybe that's what's cutting you off. I'm not sure.
If it keeps going, I might try unplugging my hard line, because sometimes it's shitty. I don't know.
Yeah, I need to get you the the desktop mic that I was going to get you, and maybe that'll help too. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
So, other stuff for Damonte. Obviously, I'm sure you guys didn't predict yourself to be in last place, but what about the other teams? Like, are there any surprises for you halfway through the split?
I mean, definitely FlyQuest are playing way better than everyone expected. And then I think CLG is also playing way better than everyone expected. It sounds a little weird because they're like, what, 4 and 6 or something?
Yeah.
But that is like, to most people, I feel like it's pretty surprising because maybe just in scrims or their games, it's just like that no one really is expecting that. But they seem to play a lot better on stage than they do in practice. So,
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They're outperforming my expectations, but I feel like a lot, like CLG certainly thought they were going to be doing a lot better than they are. So it's just an interesting situation.
Hey, Travis, how do we ban people again? Because there's some guy spamming Twitch links in the chat.
Oh yeah, maybe just you click, I don't know, mods, Discord mods, please, somebody.
You gonna watch this stream?
I'll ban him.
I just ban him. Fuck him.
oh, he's popping off in solo queue now.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Well.
Oh, he's popping off in solo queue? Too
Yeah.
bad. All right, I'm gonna try changing the Discord server location, because I think that might be it, because I'm hearing it also on Damonte's side. Sorry guys, we are beholden to, I don't know. Okay, saving changes. I was on a VIP server, so I don't know what's going on there, but should be good now. All right, let's get the show going. Mark, do you want to explain how the show works?
Yeah, so the way this works, if you've never seen the show before, is there is a Discord server that you can join up. I'm spamming it in Twitch chat right now. Go ahead and join. And when you get there, go and join the pleb calls or pleb calls to voice channels, and you can mute your microphone once you're in there. And then you'll post your topics, whatever it is you want to talk about, in pleb topics or subtopics. If I like your question or take, I will move you from pleb calls into the waiting room, where when it's your turn, I'll do a quick mic check to make sure it sounds good, and then we'll pull you in the call to talk directly with us.
Yeah. Is that the actual Niski, by the way? I can't tell if that's... He's got an extra Y. Do we know if that's his Twitch handle?
I'm pretty sure that's him.
He's
yeah.
got 30,000 followers. Okay, so Niski's hanging out. Nice. What... Let's see. The other thing, by the way, for a lot of people that were asking, we fixed it. We fixed the issue where the Discord was not syncing. I did not know that the Discord was not syncing, so if you are a sub, you will actually be able to get sub recognition in the Discord now. That's your cue to start subbing. Crazy right now on the chat. But if you sub, you can get access to the sub chat channel where you can put your topic in, and you can it moves a little bit slower, so you have a better chance of making it on the show, I guess, if you're a sub, because you are getting spammed, your questions getting spammed a little less or getting lost. Anyway, that's how that works. As Mark is grabbing the first set of people to come on the show, I want to give a couple shout-outs. Jimmer74, It's Dish, Bobacola gives to sub to Damonte, Cygnus, X4, Soundwave Surfer, McAlp, Kylo Zen, Ethan2600, K-Wolf55, Hi, I'm Hugh, My Dog's Called Jinx and 100 Bits, Red Rum 248 to Heal, Coco Kanja, Ari Waddle, Panopoly, Geislich, Pedro Polo 75, Chaotic Pro, Human Shoes, Kyle0808, OPTSM fan, who says, don't pay attention to me, it's all about Tanner right now. Tanner time, woot, Tanner time, let's go, come on Tanner, Tanner the Tool Man. Chaos Theory 136, Butt Holtz for 4 months, and Ateo Rachel for 11 months. He wrote Poggers. Okay. Let's get the show going. We've got our first guest, the Sword of the Morning. What a long name. We've never had that before.
The Sword of the Morning Star, dude. It's a Red Rising reference, isn't it?
Is that what it is?
I mean, I don't. It's a Game of Thrones reference, but like, I don't want to correct anyone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm on crack. I don't know, dude.
It doesn't-
Sorry,
yeah, it doesn't
guys.
say Morning Star. Either way, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Massachusetts.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being a sub. Wait, Mark, aren't you also from Massachusetts?
That's true.
Isn't this normally
wait,
the part of the
wait,
show where
wait.
you go, "Yay, Massachusetts! Where you from, bro?"
Oh wait,
Is that
yeah.
something
Where
I
are
did?
you from, Mark?
Is that something I do?
Yeah.
can't
Whenever
remember.
you're not on, look, this is sign one that Loloka show has drained all the
Yay!
energy from you.
Yay, Massachusetts! I grew up in Needham.
Oh, nice. I'm on Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, look at this fucking guy, huh?
Is that
Mm.
is he rich? Do we think he's rich?
Probably.
Is that why he's the sub?
Okay. Wait, it's a pretty poor area, if we're being honest. It's a common misconception.
Isn't that where all the rich people go to hang out?
Yeah, it's where their beach houses are. That and
Yeah,
Cape
in
Cod.
the summer, but in the winter, God, it's depressed.
So you're poor then. Sorry to hear it. Anyway, thank you for being a Twitch sub, because that's
Jesus, Travis.
really, it's generous of you with your low income. What do you want to talk about in the show tonight?
So I want to talk about on the show tonight that TSM seems to have accidentally found themselves what I might call the C9 blabber strategy, whereby you use an aggressive jungler to make plays, which, like, even if the jungler isn't always making perfect plays, as I mean, C9 likes to say that, like, Blabber doesn't have a brain, but they like him because he just, like, makes shit happen. And in competitive games, it's good to not let them get stale. And I think that that's really good for TSM because they've traditionally had the problem of trying to play, like, maybe Korean style and, like, slowly gain leads and not necessarily make plays. So it's really good for them to have someone like Akaadian who's going to, like, go out and do shit, even if it's not always great, because it's going to at least spur the team to make plays that might let them get leads.
A Chad jungler is what you're describing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because that's what Akaadian said they wanted as a Chad jungler. All right, Damonte, I believe you're friends with Akaadian. Is Akaadian making plays, quote, not even if they're not always great? And
Does
is
he
that
have a
helping
brain?
TSM
Is
find
the first
success?
question. Does he have a brain?
I have absolutely no idea how Matt is anywhere. Last time I played with him was in Echo Fox 2017, and that team was hot trash. So, I mean,
Well, he plays League of Legends competitively. You could talk about.
I mean, I have no idea actually.
Okay,
I
so
feel
you
like Matt
don't
is-
know if, but do you never watch the TSM games? Do you play against TSM ever?
Yeah, we do. It's like, I mean, the team is just solid. I feel like Matt isn't just running around with Zillion Kindred like C9 did and just like inting and then pressing all the R's and like living and making plays that way. I feel like Matt actually is thinking most of his plays. Yes, he's aggressive, but I feel like it's much different than how C9 played with Blabber, because I think that team, when they used Blabber specifically, kind of relied on like Zillion Kindred a lot.
Yeah.
And they played some other stuff too, just as aggressively, and they played well in that too. But it doesn't really feel the same for TSM, I guess.
Yeah. Are you flaming Blabber, by the way? And Arrow wants to know if you're flaming Blabber.
Yeah, I'm absolutely flaming Blabber.
Okay, good. We were just talking about how we wanted LCS to have more trash talk, so I'm glad that
Is there trash? Is there beef here? Do you not respect Blabber?
Yeah, he's trash.
Oh, there we
Spicy.
go. Looking
No,
for
just
okay.
kidding.
This show is already the most dramatic version. We needed to ramp it up this year, so I'm glad that we got this going. All right. So, you disagree with the take, Damonte, that this is similar to the Blabber situation and that Akaadian's just sort of charging in and everyone has to follow him?
Yeah, it's definitely different from C9, but Akaadian is definitely aggressive. So I think there's merit to what he's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's some similarities in the sense where it feels like in the past, TSM has been so like, we got to find the 100% play. And I think Akaadian does a really good job of being aggressive. And that's what they needed in the early game, was someone to be more aggressive. And so like maybe these aren't the 100% plays that in the past TSM has liked. They just needed someone to kind of shake it up a little bit. And I don't think it's quite full on Blabber where he just like flashes at people as soon as he sees them. So I definitely think there's a limit to this comparison. But I think there is some truth that like he does bring a new look to TSM.
Yeah. Damonte, are you paying attention or are you getting distracted by Niski memeing you in the chat?
It's a combo.
Okay, good. Great. Glad to hear you're both paying attention and getting distracted.
Travis, you're gonna need your editor to put the Twitch chat on stream for this one.
Yeah.
For the upload onto YouTube.
I don't. What do you mean, editor? Oh, Smoothie's hosting me. What is up with this situation?
When you get a superstar like Damonte on, people just
we
want to be
have
around.
more LCS people. Like, first off, no one ever hosts me. Secondly,
Oh my god, you're such a
So
fucking
sad.
whiner.
no, I'm not complaining.
No one owes you hosts.
Oh, by the way, he hosted me with one viewer, and Damonte just hosted me with one viewer. Okay, whatever.
Oh,
Let's just get this show
someone's mod is auto hosting you when they're offline already.
getting memed. It's painful. All right. So, but okay, let's take a step back because we've been talking and kind of memeing a little bit about the Akaadian situation, but for a long time the meme was, and I know that Soren hated this because this was apparently not what he wanted, but that all the junglers that are on TSM are just ward bots and they're just there to like, help Bjergsen succeed and all that stuff. And now supposedly Akaadian is the first example that people want to talk about where this is the case. So do we think that's true? Is it a world that we live in now where TSM finally has this aggressive jungler and this is what's going to lead them to success and break the curse they've had for a while?
I mean, this Sven was this way too. When Sven showed up there, everyone was like, "Oh my god, aggressive jungle Sven, he's so fucking good, woohoo!" And then over the course of 2 years, it felt like he kind of lost his edge.
Well, I mean, I just want to ask, like, I mean, how do we think TSM fared when Sven Skarum was their jungler versus after? Because it seems like they were doing an awful lot when he was there.
I mean, there were high and low points. I think like when he showed up at first with Yellow Star, it wasn't great, and then they swapped Yellow Star and it was great, and then they brought him back and it was pretty good again. Or they then Double Lift left for a little bit, and then he came back. And I don't know, the overall the TSM Sven was pretty good. I think at Worlds people like really shat on him hard because TSM as a whole just became super passive. But like, I don't really put down Sven. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it seems fair, but I mean, I think that's kind of like the curse of TSM and maybe to a lesser degree TL, right? Like, TSM wants to play like they're a Korean team, and that works decently in NA because they just have like solid players in every position, and then they go and they play against actual Korean teams and they get shit on. You can't outbeat the Koreans at their own game, right?
I mean, I don't know how much of it's like the Korean mindset, but they definitely play a slower game.
Yeah.
They like, sorry.
No, go ahead. Mark.
I was apologizing to Damonte, not you. I thought Damonte was going to say something.
Okay.
Oh,
Damonte.
no.
Nope. Okay. No one's saying anything. Either
Great
way,
synergy, boys.
I think we've had enough conversation about TSM unless anybody else has any other takes. Sort of Morning, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, thanks for having me. I really appreciate your show and your content. And I do just want to clarify before I leave. I was not comparing Akaadian to Blabber because I know that's a pretty extreme comparison. I was just saying it seems like, and I'm not even a TSM fan, but it seems like it's beneficial for TSM to have an aggressive jungler given some of their more passive styles of play.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, Sort of Morning, for calling in, and we'll maybe call you, or we'll maybe talk to you again in the future.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thanks. Have a good one. All right.
Can you have another TSM question?
Yeah, it's just TSM
Is that
night
the
here
whole
on
night?
Hotline League.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. A couple more shout outs to some folks. Jordan, Bobacola gifted a sub to Niski. IC Decay, Bobacola gifted a sub to I'm Rich Broke, Hole53, 8 Atison, Phineas LOL, and OP TSM fan. Oh, never mind. He just hosted me. Phantom Ed, where are you calling from?
Montreal, Canada.
Montreal, Canada. Is it freezing cold there?
Absolutely. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah. I really like Montreal the one time I went there, but it was really cold. And I think all of us in LA have been freezing our butts off at the 50-degree Fahrenheit world that it's been for the past couple weeks, so we can all relate. What do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
Well, I was kind of curious because, also sorry, I'm a bit sick right now, so my voice is a little bit screwed up. But yeah, I was wondering because Clutch Gaming has been a bit struggling on the top side. And I was wondering about, Lyra and Huni's relationship overall and, how they react to, Huni's, let's say, poor form as of late. And Lyra is also, kind of struggling in the jungle. So I was wondering about how they react in the team house and in scribs, to their performance right now.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we don't really have a team house right now. We have like an optional team house where Vulcan, Lyra, and Piglet are in it, and then me and Huni are in our own apartments. So there's not really much team house stuff going on for that stuff. Like at least between like, Huni and that. I'd say for like in-game stuff, I think right now is like they're right now is like the time where they're kind of figuring out what they need to do for each other. I think Huni was kind of playing in a way still at the beginning of the split, like he had Dardoch on his team, and kind of something because I played with Dardoch and Huni as well, and something they did was just they would play the top side every game, and basically they would just like roll over the enemy jungle and top. Like either they will kill your top laner and your jungler has to go bot, or your jungler will try to cover top and then they will just 2v2 and kill both of them. And I think there was a bit where Huni was still kind of playing the exact same way, even though Lyra is a much different player than Dardoch is. For me personally, it's like going from Dardoch to Lyra, it was a huge 180 because Lyra is much more calculated in what he does, and he doesn't make like 50-50 plays. It relies on like maybe your mechanical skill to pull it off. He wants to go for like the stuff that is really calculated, and I think that's what we've been figuring out over the last couple of weeks, and that is probably a part of the reason why Huni did have some struggles earlier on. So,
How do you play? Are you more of like the calculated mid laner, or are you like this? You want to scrap it out and like trade to the depth type mid?
Personally, I feel like I'm more of like a fighting kind of player, but I found myself on this team and my last team, I kind of have to fill more of a role on my team. I think if I were to play exactly how I wanted to, it wouldn't create like a winning team. So yeah, I would probably call myself more like a fighting kind of player, but I'm trying to like make sure I can do whatever is best for the team.
Definitely able to turn your brain on and not just be the brain off fighting mid all the time.
Yeah, I did play with Phoenix for a full split, so
Wow, so much flame tonight.
it's not Flame. He's insane. He just yeah.
I mean, he's definitely a brain off kind of mid laner where it's like, hey, do you want to put your trinket ward down? Okay, you don't need to. Great, just
Oh, he just won
Um,
V2'd. Wow.
Yep.
Also, just a quick question. I'm French Canadian, and obviously there's a lot of French Canadian people
Oh,
in the chat
boy.
right now. And I was just wondering about how Vulcan is, how's he doing, like in general? Like, how is he adapting to the new environment in America?
I think he's doing pretty good. I mean, he gets flamed for being French Canadian a lot. I guess it's just a meme, but he like he doesn't he has like these weird English quirks, and it's the funniest stuff ever because it reminds me of like almost, it reminds me similar to like a Korean player saying like some random stuff and he just says it completely wrong. It's almost like that. But I mean, he's pretty much American, so
Can you give
it's
an
really,
example?
I can't think about it. It's just he says some like. I mean, he'll just pronounce the word wrong, and it's
Oh,
just
okay,
funny.
I gotcha.
And then Huni will just call him like the. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, I can kind of see what you mean. Like a lot of people do call us out because we do tend to have our own unique way of pronouncing English. The whole French Canadian thing.
It's funny though.
Yeah. Hey, Phantom Ed, any final thoughts?
But not really. Except I hope you guys are gonna pick up form soon, and good luck in the future. And I hope I'll see you guys in the playoffs.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, dude. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. On to the next caller. What do you got first, Mark? J Juice the Wise, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Hype Love Shack, Jelly Donut, Crafty01, and Akava. Wait, no, not Akava. Alright. Where are we? And Punopoly is here. Hello, Punopoly.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Where are you calling from?
I'm on vacation in Florida right now.
Okay. So are you on like a laptop?
Yes, sir.
Alright. What are you doing? Like, what's vacation like in Florida?
It's beautiful. It's a nice 85 degrees here. Walk on the beach, hang out. Much better than in Iowa, where it's like freezing.
Yeah. I assume you live in Iowa.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about in the show tonight? And again, thanks for being a Twitch sub.
Yeah, of course. You make great content, so love to sub.
Thanks. What do you want to talk about in the show?
So, heard a lot in the community about how essentially NA's bad because they have a longer game time than all the other regions, and so like that means they can't close out games, and then like you hear perks like flaming TL a bit, like oh maybe they're top 4, and so now there's this whole NA's definitely gonna like lose to EU at Rift Rivals, MSI, etc. So like I wanted to dig into the stats and like see if like statistically they are worse. First of all, NA doesn't have that much slower of a game time. On average, it's like 4 minutes slower than EU and only 2 minutes slower than Korea. Where if you look at their combined kills per minute, they're right on pace with Korea. They're both at like 0.6, whereas EU's at like 0.7. And so even though EU has a lower game time, they actually average more kills per game.
Yeah.
Because
NA
they just
games are
play
definitely
these.
boring. I agree.
Yes, and I'm not contending that. It's just the matter of like, are they truly worse than EU? And I don't think EU is necessarily better. They just have such a willingness to run at each other and fight and play these bloody fiesta of a game. And so, like, of course, there's more gold on the map because people are dying, and then you can take objectives and then just roll with it. They don't want to set up and play the macro and take objectives. They just want to run at each other and fight, and may the best man win.
Well,
So just real quick, 4 minutes in League of Legends is actually. Oh my god, what was that?
I don't know. I think it's on Punopoly's side. Sorry, by the way, everyone, for all the audio issues this week. I don't know what the issue is. But
anyways,
anyway,
I was
sorry,
gonna
go ahead,
say,
Mark.
4 minutes is actually substantially longer of a game, like extremely long. But if something is 4 minutes longer on average, that's like I said, if one team is getting to Elder Drake and the other one's not, like, guess what? All those games that you use Elder Drake to close your game out versus a Korean team, on average, you're never going to get there, right? Or like versus other teams. So like, depending on like what is happening around those game times, like they become substantially different games. If you're talking about a second pair, stacks and it's much more powerful late game. Like 4-minute average is a lot longer because the games are like 35 minutes, so you're talking like 15% longer or something. You know, like so, I don't know. One thing is we are much slower. 2 minutes between EU is not crazy, and like you said, the combined kills per minute. You know, it's not that far off, which is a different topic. But I just want to say that like it is.
I guess.
Well, go ahead.
What I mean is, like, for how much bloodier their games are, they're not, like, it's not proportional. Like, their games are much bloodier, but not that much slower, and that's why they have higher kills on average in their games without, having the same game time. So, like, again, of course, they're gonna have a much faster game time when they're just willing to run at each other and kill each other. But if you compare, like, to the Koreans where they want to play the more slow macro, we're like 2 minutes off of them, which is like okay, we ban and take 2 inhibs back by, come push out on the map, take the last inhib, and then go and end the game.
I just want to say, it's cool that you're calling in, because I know Mark was answering, but your question specifically about how bad North America is, and we have a player from the worst ranked team, Clutch Gaming, here to answer it. So, Damonte,
right. I'll throw my final thing and then
Okay.
let Damonte go. The stats, you can pull them up. And you can use those as a baseline for where the argument goes from there by saying, like, look, our combined kills per minute are actually in line with Korea. We're just 2 minutes slower. So, like, what's going on in these games? And then you want to actually look at the game. And I'll leave it there and let Damonte take over and let him give his thoughts.
I mean, I feel like NA is just like I feel like both regions are actually pretty top heavy right now. Like I feel like the top teams are just so much better than the bottom teams. Like you see G2 is just rolling everyone, and same for NA. It's just Team Liquid also. And I mean, it goes. I don't really watch EU that closely, but for NA, it's like
I
same.
mean, who does?
A lot more people recently.
Yeah. but like even like C9 and who's the third place team?
TSM.
TSM. Like TSM recently, like when you see those teams play, it looks a lot better than when you watch every other team play. Like if you saw Clutch Gaming versus 100 Thieves in week 3, it was quite the game. We probably we literally played a scaling poke comp and died 10 times in early game, and the game still went 52 minutes long. So I don't think you would see that from any top team from either region. So definitely hard to say who is better, but
Yeah, and I guess when I say as like a region, like I'm not necessarily looking at, like I'm looking at who we're gonna send to an MSI Rift rival, because EU is not gonna send XL or Rogue. They're obviously not gonna compete with a Team Liquid. So if you're looking at just like the top end of the teams, I think the top NA teams aren't just gonna get run down by this aggressive EU style. They're gonna be able to switch, pivot, and make trades like Liquid does. Okay, you can take that, we'll dive bot, take that tower, take dragon, and they're going to be able to keep it even into mid-game and then just play macro better.
Yes.
So
I think it's really going to depend on how the meta is. Because if the meta is a lot of fighting around like mid lane and stuff like that, I don't actually think Team Liquid will ever be that great at that kind of meta. Like you saw at Worlds, like fighting around mid was really important. And it's kind of similar now, like not as much as Worlds, but it definitely depends on the meta, because EU is really great at like 3v3ing mid with like jungle support and mid, and it feels like team only really plays around their AD carry. So it's just going to depend on like the styles of the team that shows up and the meta at the same time.
Absolutely.
I think so. Two things too. I think contribute to Europe's situation is like, for the last couple of splits, there's always like this like 0-10 feeling European team, whether it's Rogue now or Giants before, whatever it is. And like whenever you have a team that is like substantially worse than everyone in the league, it's like, hey, here's a free fucking 25-30 minute game where you get to boost your stats. And NA doesn't have that. When two like teams in the playoff hunt, just outside the playoff hunt play, they're actually somewhat competitive, and so it's leads to games being a little slower. And I agree with the idea that like on the top end, maybe we're not quite as slow, but it's still kind of true. Where Team Liquid's our best team, and they average a 34-minute game compared to the best team in Korea averaging a 31-minute game, and G2 averaging a 29-minute game. So we are a lot. It's not just some of these other things. Like Team Liquid does not play very active in the early game. They're not aggressive. That game that they won against whoever on Sunday, they could have tried the Baron at 27 minutes, and they chose not to try it until like 31. You know, and like that's just not how these other top teams from other regions play. Like they will force that Baron. I don't know. I think it is a concern for me, especially if, as Damonte's saying, like the meta is one that's not already favorable toward Team Liquid's, assuming they're the ones who own MSI preferred place.
Yeah. I changed the Discord server again. Let's find out what happens. Trying to think if there's anything else on the topic, but I think we probably pretty much covered it. Punopoly, any final thoughts?
I guess we'll see once we get to MSI and Rift Rivals what happens and who will get the last lap. But otherwise, thanks for having me on, and keep up the good work, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, got cut off. Let's take a quick break.
I'm gonna switch I'm gonna unplug from my hardline. All right.
I think it's not you. I think it's definitely Discord, because like even the callers are having it, and Damonte's having it. You guys are hearing it too, right?
No.
I can't hear it now.
Oh, you guys don't hear people cutting out?
No, it's only on your end.
Everything's perfect for me.
Yep.
Clearly, it's my internet then, and changing the Discord server is not going to help. But that's annoying. I saw Dash earlier tweeting that his internet went out, so clearly it's linked. That's what we're experiencing. Well, listen.
I mean, I live across the street from him.
Let me talk to you guys about. Wait, really? And your internet didn't go out?
Yeah, I'm fine.
He tweeted earlier and said it went out, so I don't know. Let me talk to you all about an amazing product. Unlike my internet, Alienware makes amazing products, and they do awesome things, and they sponsor and support so much of the League of Legends space with their sponsorship of Team Liquid, their sponsorship of LCS, their sponsorship of me. So much of the content that I am able to do, in fact, virtually all of it this year, is because of Alienware, so I really appreciate it. And I'm actually headed to South by Southwest next month to partake in the South by Southwest gaming thing. So if you are there, come say hi to me, because I'm going to be at the Alienware. I believe it's called the Alienware Experience. It's you don't even have to enter the main building. It's outside, and they kind of take over a restaurant. I'll be hosting, doing some cool stuff there. So if you're in Austin for South by Southwest Gaming, come check it out. If you don't care about me, go check out the cool Alienware stuff there. I think Team Liquid is going to have some people there as well. Either way, it's going to be a really fun experience. So I just want to thank Alienware for doing so much cool stuff. I think I mentioned this last week, but I had a 2-hour meeting with them. They came to LA, met with a bunch of people, including myself, and I'm really excited about the stuff that we're going to be able to do together in 2019. And I got to tell you, like, there's some cool random ideas that I'm having that I throw out to them, and they're like, hey, we're interested in supporting that too. That's cool. So just a lot of cool stuff on the horizon, and I really appreciate their support. See if Mark comes back anytime soon. Damonte, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
Doing well. Waiting for Mark to come back. Let's see.
Can we get Niski in here?
If Niski wants to join Discord, it's discord.gg/Travis, and he can call in. I would love to have him show up.
I need some European banter in my...
Where did Mark go? How long does he think these ad reads are? The crazy man. I don't know what to do. Damonte, what is going on with you these days? Like, what do you do outside of LCS? Do you do anything?
I go out on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do on Sunday nights other than just meeting at someone's house and then chilling.
Oh, do you just go to people's houses?
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. Who else goes to these houses? Because I never get the invite, so...
It's usually just like me and myself.
Hmm.
and an arrow.
Okay, it's you and an arrow at somebody's house. Even
Yeah.
the host of the house, the owner of the house, is not there. It's just you two sitting in the living room.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, wow, that's really
We just
exciting.
go to the GGS apartment houses and we just sit there.
Yeah, when you said that nothing happens on Sundays, I didn't realize that literally nothing happens. It does sound like a booty call. Somebody in chat said, Mark, we've been ready for another caller for a bit, so hopefully you're...
What did I walk
Investigating.
into?
Well, we had to fill time because we ended the ad read and then you were just gone. I didn't know what to do, so we started learning a lot about Damonte.
Should I grab an arrow?
Ye-
The waiting room. Is this a follow
Just
up?
go to the waiting room, grab whoever you're gonna grab. Okay. Excited to see how things go. Nice. So you live in an apartment, Damonte. You didn't want to live in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a stipend, so
Okay.
just paying a little bit extra to not live in the gaming house.
Nice. Well, that's probably a nice experience. I know a lot of people. Peter still lives in a gaming house. He's like 26. Actually, I think Smithy does, and he's like 28.
Wait, they're not in like the Team Liquid apartment or whatever?
Yeah, they are, but it's like it's still like they're still living with their teammates, and it's still like a Team Liquid apartment, and it's you actually have chosen to move into your own place and not live in the main house.
Yeah, that's true.
Inferno 526 is here. Inferno,
Yes,
where are you
sir.
calling from?
I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Houston,
Oh.
Texas. Okay.
Yeehaw.
So a natural Clutch fan.
Yes, sir. Well, my topic here today is actually really Clutch fanboy, but I'm just going to say that I think Damonte, along with the C9 rookies, Viper, are really good examples for why NA talent, like natural English-speaking NA talent, is better than non-English-speaking imports for the NALCS or the LCS. Because the communication advantage is way more valuable than the skill deficit you get from having an EU mid, because the talent doesn't do anything if you can't talk and coordinate with it. And in the late game team fighting meta, a lot of coordination is what wins you the matches instead of having your individual talent, since we don't snowball really well.
Yeah. All right. So NA talent hype train with Damonte at the lead. Damonte.
Wait, so
let's-
were you saying that even like EU talent is not good? Or are you saying
No,
just
I'm saying like not all of the non-English speaking imports. So I'd include Broken Blade in that, or like any of the EU imports who have had a more difficult time adjusting to speaking English than NA.
Does Niski speak English? Can we confirm?
Niski speaks
I
English,
think
but I'm just using him as like the best like example for a popular EU mid that might not have like the most concise like way to speak. If that makes any sense?
wait, but doesn't everyone in ELCS just speak English?
Yeah,
There's
but
some
it's
teams
like
that
it gets a lot
predominantly
more
speak
difficult to
other
communicate like
languages,
more
but-
complex topics. I think when you can't voice your full like range. 'Cause I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that get lost in translation because you don't have someone like right there to translate your initial instinct depending on what your first language is.
I guess I interview all the EU players that come over here. 100% they all understand English better in some cases than some of the NA players. So I would say some of these guys have a better
Alright,
understanding
I
of the
might be wrong
language.
about that, but I'm mainly talking about non-English speaking imports in general. I don't think it applies to EU as much, but my main thing is just communication advantage is way better than skill deficits in
So
general.
let me get this straight.
And-
You're calling from Texas,
Yeah.
and you're like all these American people
Okay,
deserve
okay,
these
Travis, I don't
American
give
jobs. These Europeans come over here. They can't even speak the language.
Come on, Travis, you don't gotta do that to me.
Uh,
I've been
what-
trying to get into the double lift episode.
All right, let's go through the list of top half teams that have Korean imports and bottom half teams that have Korean imports. All right, so in the top half teams, Team Liquid has 2, former world champion Impact and Core JJ. Cloud9 has 0, TSM has 0, FlyQuest has 0, and CLG has 0. Bottom half teams, Clutch Gaming have 2, 100 Thieves has 2, Optic has 1, 2. I'm an idiot. Golden Guardians has 0, I believe.
No, Ole's an import.
Ole is an import. Echo Fox has 2. Huh.
And then
Why?
100 Thieves has 3 Korean imports. Huki is a resident, but But
And the same goes for Clutch then too.
Yeah, if we're counting that, then sure.
Yeah.
So
But
there's
my
a lot
main-
more imports on the bottom. So maybe there's some weight to this.
Actually, Clutch has
Yeah.
4, if you think about it.
It's rough
Oh, yeah.
that poor Damonte has to carry these import
Three
players. that are-
Korean players and a French player.
Yeah, and that's what's holding him back. I think Damonte's just struggling because he's got to deal with all these people.
Well, I don't think it's mainly the. Well, I don't think Damonte. I think Damonte, big fan since your first game. But
Thanks, bro.
I think Damonte is doing the best that he can with the environment around him. Considering it's insane, from what I've been able to figure out over the years, it's insanely hard to be a really vocal member when it comes to communication in general. With people who have a lot more prestige than you do, especially if there is that language barrier, because you don't want to step on anyone's toes. And the fact that Damonte was able to show like actual aggression instead of the resident sleeper passivity gives me a lot of hope for that. And the other half of my topic is the fact that the failure of imports live up to their previous hype because of the ecosystem around them, like increasing and the quality of play increasing, means that I could see a lot of bottom teams potentially putting a lot of stock into developing NA talent because it's less of a financial investment. And if all the imports are going to shit because communication ruins a lot of the early game leads built up through individual play, then there could be an NA LCS with more NA players for a change.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
there's
go
a lot
ahead,
to
Mike.
get through here. There's a lot to unpack as they say in Riot Games. So, can you mute for a second? You're getting a lot of background noise.
Inferno.
Okay.
Can you mute?
Yeah, thank you. So there's a lot of like value put on like the previous names of people, and we were talking about this a little bit on the Listen Loco show about how like the due diligence that people do prior towards signing a player is probably not enough, especially when you're talking about overseas and the Korean teams, and like, do they have Korean connects who can go and interview the team that just played with this guy, the coaching staff that just played with this guy, to see if he's actually still hungry and what he wants to do with his career and like what went wrong on the team and why he's leaving. So like, I think that's something that sometimes happens, especially with the Korean imports, is that just the language barrier, not just the player and the rest of the team that he's playing on, but also between coaching staffs and stuff like that. Are you actually able to do the proper due diligence on a player that you're about to sign? As well as just people always assuming that the person that they're getting will return to their peak form versus assuming that the most recent thing that they saw is how they are, and worse, that trend of going downwards will continue. So like a player like Rainover, like when Team Liquid got him, they're all imagining Fnatic Rainover and Immortals Rainover, and they get something worse, and it doesn't quite work out, and his career trends down. Then CLG signs, and they're like, we're going to get Immortals and Fnatic Rainover, and then they get Team Liquid Rainover. I think that's the kind of stuff that you kind of see a lot of in some of these players. So the solution is just steal from Europe.
Damonte, what are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, sure. I've only played with Korean imports, so I'm a bit biased in what I have to say, I guess. I mean, Huni for me is like the biggest Korean import I've played with, and I've been playing with him for the last year. And there's zero communication issues like between me and Huni. And then what this year is like differing for me is like now I also have Lyra and Piglet, and now I'm starting to understand and like see where like the issues could come, because it requires a lot of extra work in order to develop like really healthy relationships with the Korean imports that don't speak English as well, because not everything just like flows naturally, I guess. And I think part of that is why you're seeing people slowly move away from it and like maybe getting more European talent, just because like the instant reward of getting a European player is much more than getting a Korean player, because you don't have to go through this whole thing of like them understanding like English and stuff. So I definitely think Korean imports still can be really good, and getting them is like maybe a longer term investment rather than getting a European import who might be good like right away. Because yeah, I mean, I think you might see that on teams like 100 Thieves and Clutch right now. Like most people didn't think like those two teams would be 9th and 10th, other than like Mark thinking we'd be 10th. But yeah, like you might see those two teams like scale up like as the Korean imports. They understand the culture more, they get better English and stuff like that. But definitely, if you're looking for instant success, like European imports are probably like the better go-to.
to combo off that, like Huni has also been one of the most successful imports ever.
Yeah.
Like he's personality wise seems to fit in quite well with culture, and he's been a very quick learner of English. Like going back to his Fnatic days, like he seemed to pick up the language a lot quicker than other imports. You know, it's no surprise that he's been one of the best ones for you to work. The other thing I was going to ask you is, I know a lot of people, and you know I coach Piglet and Phoenix. Like a lot of people say in game, it's actually not that hard to communicate with someone whose like first language isn't English. And I don't know if this matches up with you, but the bigger problem is like when you break away out of the game and you're doing post game, or like you said, trying to get to actually know them as like a person and like friends type situation. That's where the communication barrier becomes a bigger issue. So I don't. If it's more in-game communication problems or like the out-of-game trying to improve, be a team type problems.
Well, for Clutch, I can say it's definitely more out of game, and it's less so them not knowing English and more so us having culture differences. Because I'm much younger than Lyra and Piglet by like 3 or 4. So for me, or for them, that means like I should look up to them and respect them a ton, and basically what they say, I always have to follow that. And maybe for American culture and how I grew up, it's like I am very used to saying whatever's on my mind. I'm very used to arguing back until we reach like something that is like a thing. And there's been a couple of times after scrim games where it's like I will argue something, and then they're just like, "Why are you arguing this? Like you should just listen to what I say, and we shouldn't argue like the smaller stuff." So that's where like I think more so it's culture difference rather than not knowing English, at least for Clutch.
Inferno. Yeah.
One question. One question I wanted to ask Damonte is, so I've noticed that you've been talking about a lot of the post game and a lot of the VOD review, but do you think that with other teams, even though it might not apply to Clutch, that having a bunch of heavy Korean imports like 100 Thieves, where you have Ryu as assistant coach, you have Someday who's still learning to speak English but speaks English decently well, Bang who's in the same situation, and Huhi, where their limitation and having to go through back and forth through the translation barrier might hold them back from doing more complex strategies, which is why they're defaulting to the simple late game team fight smork strategy.
Wait, what are you asking in particular?
Do you think that the translation back and forth is stopping a lot of predominantly imported teams that don't speak English as well from doing more complex strategies like 1-3-1s or more difficult to execute team comps like C9 did with their Kindred Zillion?
I think actually a lot of Korean players and just LCK in general, if you watch right now, other than Griffin, are actually struggling a lot with how the meta has changed. Like the game is a lot faster now, and I feel like a lot of Korean players aren't actually accepting that. And I feel like that is probably having more of a problem to do with it rather than them having like some translation issue. They just don't want to change how they're playing.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to ask you about was
I think we're gonna keep moving because you can't
sorry.
Okay.
Inferno, sorry, I'm like a little distracted because I'm trying to fix the audio issues. But Inferno, do you have any final thoughts that aren't another topic?
Thank God for Damonte being here, so people don't shit talk NA mids for all of eternity.
Yeah, well, I think they're still going to do that even if Damonte is here, but it is nice that he's here.
It's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Damonte.
Got you.
Next guy.
Yep. As we move on, a couple of quick shout-outs. And again, sorry, we're trying to fix the issues, but I'm having no success. Dim Light Thick Smoke 1, Rob Berteau for 5 months in a row, Calendar Guy 523, C Money, Killing You Guy for 10 months, Benjamin for 12, happy 1 year anniversary of the best esports interviewer, thanks. Cradia Gaming, Ventus Official for 13, Red Belzy, and Sadistic Nero. Bobacola gifted us up to Dadarus, Big Angry Hobo, Dadarus gifted sub to Judge Brown 2016, Dadarus gifted us up to M1201, and Riv donated $10. I think it's not Rivington, but Riv, RL, anyway. Hey Travis, keep up the great content. Make sure you speak about how bad 100 TR may be roster change. Fire Prolly. Well, for $10, I will consider it. Actually, we need a caller to call in and talk about it, so you could try to talk about it. I don't know. I'm sure there's a 100T topic. Mark loves pulling them. And, you know, that's one of the few teams that Damonte can take jabs at because they're also not doing well. Should be getting somebody here in just a second.
And I play them next week.
Yeah, you do. How's it going Twitch chat, by the way? I think 100T is a tough place. I'm sure we'll get to that soon. But just waiting for Mark, who's taking the longest time he's ever taken to grab a caller. Oh, here we go. Jose Nor, is that how you say it?
Yes, sir.
Jose Nor. Where are you calling from?
I am in Anaheim on my spring break.
Oh, wait, it's spring break already? It's not even spring yet.
I go to Pepperdine, so we only have 14-week semesters, and I'm already halfway done.
Okay. Well, that seems interesting. Anyway, what are you doing in Anaheim? Are you going to like Disneyland and all that?
This is home. I live in Anaheim.
Oh, you live in Anaheim. Okay. Sorry. When you used to you're like, I'm in Anaheim for spring break or on spring break, it sounds like you traveled there.
Home.
Especially since Anaheim is like a place where people go.
I've lived there my whole life, so I've been to Disneyland too many times.
Nice. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's get into it. What do you want to talk about on the show?
So, for me, all the trash talk complications and the issues with that, I think a lot of it comes from Riot and how they don't like trash talk and how they don't like people putting other people down. I was actually at Rift Rivals last year, where it was NA vs. EU here in LA, and this sounds a bit flaming, but in the crowd, I saw Reckless come onto the stage for the show match, and I yelled, "Hey, Reckless, how's the bench feel?" And then afterwards, Riot's officials came out and said, "Please, no more trash talking. We're going to be really nice. No booing, no nothing, blah, blah, blah." And so I just feel like, in general, it doesn't like any sort of talk that puts other people down for the benefit.
Interesting. I had not heard that. Was that the only thing you said, or did you say other things? And were you with other people?
Only thing I said, only thing anybody said.
Okay.
And everybody was like, "Oh ho ho!" Like it was funny, but then Riot came out and said, "No, none of that."
Mark, how do you feel about that?
Personally, I'll answer right now real quick.
I was curious about Mark because he's in the studio, but go for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, as a regular sports fan who trash talks a lot, I think it's kind of lame where we can't even say anything in studio or because they can't even hear us.
Yeah.
So I just think that Riot should really allow not just the players to trash talk, but also the fans to cheer for their teams. I was a huge Echo Fox fan. They're cheering on my team, but I can't go boo when they lose. I can just cheer really loudly when they do well. And considering how Rift did not go very well.
Yeah, I am very curious to know a little bit more context for that. But I can kind of understand why Riot would do that. So it's funny because you mentioned that in traditional sports, like that it should be even safer at the studio for people to do that because the players can't hear you. But I feel like it's such a smaller studio. There's only 300 seats or whatever, that it actually makes it more intimate. I mean, you're like 20 or 30 feet away from the person you're yelling this at. So I can kind of understand that. Mark, you're at the studio all the time. I'm kind of curious about your take, and then I want to hear from Damonte.
I mean,
Mark,
some of those things are. No, I'm not.
Go ahead.
I personally find heckling, because this is heckling. This isn't trash talk. To be clear, I mean, Twitch chat was pointing this out too. Like, you are not a player. No one cares about your thoughts technically. Like, like no one wants to stick a microphone in your face and hear what you think, which is what trash talk is supposed to be about. Heckling, I also still find hilarious though. And so like good heckling at a sports game is like unbeatable. When I used to go to Celtics games all the time, and like,
oh man, Celtics fan.
When fucking someone came up on the line and there was this funny heckler who like had these great insults when someone was shooting free, it was great. But like that's such a different experience than the LCS. Like I kind of agree with Travis that it probably doesn't really have a place in the LCS. Like on a typical day, like if you're in the studio, probably not. If you were in an arena and heckling and security came up to you and was like, "Please don't do that," I'd be like, "What? Come on, it's an arena." But studio setting, I probably agree with Travis.
That's fair. I'm just saying in general they.
Go ahead. Jose, Jose, I think we lost you. Damonte, what do you think of this? Because you're a player, and I imagine if you walked out on stage and somebody yelled, and I'm going to get to the main point, but I actually am just kind of curious about addressing this first. Somebody yelled like, "Hey, Damonte, you're going to get replaced by a import someday," or something like that at you. What do you think if you were getting heckled from the audience, and how, I don't know, frustrated would you be?
I mean, I would probably laugh, but I'm also like Mark, and I came from like as a kid, I went to sport games all the time, and like when I was in school, like high school, I would literally go to the Oakland A's games and go sit in the outfield, and people would just mess with the outfielders like the entire, just like saying shit to them, and like that shit's funny. But if you're at the studio, like it's pretty personal at the studio. Like everyone there is like really really close to each other. I feel like it's not the same as like if you're in a big ass arena, it's like way different.
Yeah.
I pretty much disagree.
As for the broader point around is Riot the reason why people aren't trash talking, I kind of disagree with that because I feel like Riot wants people to trash talk, at least the pro players. Like the features team, I don't know, Damonte, I assume people, whenever you go in to get interviewed by the features team, they're like, so what do you think of that Niski guy? I'm guessing they're trying to get some good quotes out of you for that type of stuff.
I mean, I feel like for me personally, features doesn't really push me that much. Like, also, I mean, if I'm not on like a more winning team, I feel like you have to be on a more winning team to shit talk people.
Yeah.
Like, if Clutch were winning, like, best believe, like, I'm shit talking everyone we're playing against because that shit's funny and it makes everything hype, right? Like, I trash talk needs to be there, and right now it's like not there at all, which is really sad.
Yeah.
So I kind of disagree with Travis. I know they want trash talk, but I don't think that they have been necessarily supportive of everything that trash talk entails over the course of their like careers. Players get fined.
On the esports side or the broader Riot side?
The esports side, even, I'm pretty sure. Like when fucking Diamond or whoever did like this thing at like the Korean team or whatever it was, like unless I'm out of the loop, like that's not actually a super insult, right?
I think it's like flipping someone off.
It's like fuck you, right?
Yeah, it's right. It's like flipping someone off, but you didn't.
Well, like, yeah, but I think Europeans view it as flipping somebody off, right?
One, I don't know, but two, like, fucking great. That's what trash talk is.
Do you think do you remember when High flipped off the?
Yeah, I remember when High did that. That's what trash talk is.
I mean, I think I don't think trash talk is literally flipping someone the bird. I think it could be, but it's not like I can understand why Riot would want something in between flipping someone the bird and Soren being like, I really admire this team and I think they're going to be better because they played us.
Right. I'm not saying there's not like a spectrum of what you can have trash talk be, but like you can't, like they have actively worked against it more than other things. Like there's a number of times that like the Diamond Prox ones for me stands out as like that's not even that bad. It's not a specific thing, but maybe I don't know what it is.
I mean, we can ask you, Damonte. Like, do you feel like Riot at all impedes you from trash talking, or that like the environment at the LCS prevents you from trash talking as much?
I mean, Riot definitely doesn't like tell you not to. Like, I've definitely said like some toxic stuff in like a feature before, and like they were just like they would just laugh like. But I mean, maybe when you're playing a game and then you walk to handshake the other team, it's like I give hugs to like all of them. It's like I don't know. It's like too weird for me to go and be like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not gonna handshake you. It's like I don't know.
But the trash talk, the handshake thing and then the psych and then put your hand like that'd be sick.
That's really
so like. No. My question, Damonte, that flame that you do in those features, is it legitimate flame or is it like the tongue-in-cheek? This is all for show.
Wait, can you give like an example of like what?
Like, a lot of times people are like, yeah, we're gonna type stuff, you know, like, oh yeah, we're gonna win this match super easy, like that. Is that the kind of stuff you're talking about, or are you saying like I actually think this guy's boosted and like I'm gonna shit on him?
Probably somewhere in the middle, but definitely more the tongue in cheek if that's what you're trying to say. And like that's like really really boring actually.
Yeah, I don't think tongue-in-cheek ban is like that trash. Like I don't think that's not real drama. Like what
That's
people
true.
want is real opinions. Like they want your real thoughts, not like haha, yeah, licorice is super good, but I'm gonna beat him because I'm better. Haha. Like they don't want those kinds of like that's not really trash talk in my opinion.
Mhm. Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think Riot should like, because whenever I do features, it's like it's not provoking enough. The questions I think that they say, maybe the players should go in there asking for that stuff more. Like, I've never gone into features and they're like trying to edge me out some like spicy stuff. So I think it's still way more on the players than Riot at all to
Yeah, I
like make
mean-
that stuff like that.
It's definitely the kind of thing where like no one should put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
And like if you don't have spicy opinions on people, like yeah, don't go there and fabricate spicy opinions. But I personally don't hear the trash talk being serious. Like most people, when they say they're gonna crush someone, then they're not like. It feels like they don't actually think the other person's bad. Versus the old days, like season 3 and before, when someone said they thought someone was bad, like they legitimately thought that person sucked and shouldn't be on the stage versus.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, we
I
need
feel
some
like-
like Attila and upset stuff in NA. That was hype.
I mean, Peter
Yeah.
still trash talks, but I feel like everybody's just like, oh, he just does done it for so long now that they think it's like breathing for him.
I mean, he's just been shitting on everyone for like the last year and a half, 2 years. Like it's just like expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like even Gilead, right? Like he just gives his honest opinions on people. Like he's super flamey, and he's like, well, what do you think of this guy? He's like, I think he's a bad jungler, and I will destroy him, and he's not good enough to play in the LEC. You know, like when he was that shit was cool because it didn't feel like he was saying with like the idea that it was all for show in his mind. Like it felt like he really thought that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jose, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for having me on. I definitely do understand that was heckling because I mean, obviously I'm a fan. I know afterwards what happened. Riot like doesn't want any negative talk from anybody. But I will actually be there on Sunday, so I won't be yelling anything. And actually,
Yell
I
at
see there.
Damonte when he walks on stage. Just be like,
Well,
yo,
no.
Damonte, you sucked on
That's for a
Hotline
picture.
League this week.
No way, he played an Echo Fox. I can't hate him.
Hey, do it, bro. I'll laugh. Trust me. I'll give you a good.
I'll heckle. I'll heckle
Mark-
from the analyst.
Mark will walk out from the analyst
Don't worry,
desk. because you-
I'll just make a sign because since I live in Malibu, basically I go all the time. So
yeah.
Just make a big sign. Damonte, you're trash.
I mean, State Farm has a
the sign
sign
thing, yeah, I
making
did
thing
it.
out front, but I think they censor you from saying anything bad with them.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
I was actually there. Well, no, not really. I was there like 2 weeks ago, and I was when Echo Fox played C9. I was like rush, rated, and sneaky. They didn't say anything at all.
Okay, well that's not
Actual
okay.
stuff, nothing bad. Yeah.
You went from hey Reckless, how does the bench feel? To my player is better than this player. Like that's the tamest thing ever.
Yeah. And that's the only time I've ever done anything like that because I mean, I was just like EU versus NA, the big rivalry, so I got kind of too hyped.
What
Yeah.
you should try and find the limit on what you can put on those signs,
That's true. I should.
because then we'll know how much Riot is actively dissuading it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could be our canary. Actually, don't do that because I'm worried about the backlash. But anyway, thanks so
yeah,
much.
I'd rather not get kicked out and banned for life.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about us. I don't want somebody to yell at us about it. Thanks, Jose.
I'll take pictures with y'all on Sunday. See ya.
Have a good one. All right, moving on to the next caller. People on Twitch chat are trying to tech support me. They're like, just update your audio drivers. I'm not going to update my audio drivers in the middle of the stream, people. All right? That's not how this works. Let's see. We got Mark off grabbing the next person. Looks like...
This call perfectly segues.
Okay. Labuda Mike.
What's up,
Where are you calling from?
Illinois?
Where? Where are you?
I'm calling from Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. And what do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
I wanted to ask your guys' opinions on the top 10 rankings for mid laners specifically.
Top 10 rate. You want us to rate every mid laner?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna rate every mid laner, but Damonte might. Damonte,
All right.
how are you gonna rate? I'm ready for this. Are you willing to do this? And Mark, are you gonna do this too?
Let me pull up the list.
Why
It's
don't
somewhere easy to find.
what? I just have the teams up.
Okay, that's pretty easy.
Instead of doing a like 1 through 10, how about A, B, C, D tier?
A tier list?
Yeah, a quick tier list.
Okay.
Is that easier than doing 1, 2, 3? I assume it is.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier. But man, it's gonna feel bad whenever. I guess 10th place would feel bad too. But here, I'll as we put this out, I'll put this in a notepad and show it on the screen, and then people can see it as it develops live. So, 1 second. What spurred this question, Labuda Mike?
Well, since we have Damonte on, I kind of wanted to see where he puts himself, and also Mark's thoughts specifically on like who he thinks are the top performing mid laners.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just always nice to see what where a player thinks he is, because even though Clutch isn't performing that well, you can argue that Damonte's the standout player. He's been performing pretty well, so.
Okay, so we've got the anybody listening to the podcast, I'm sorry, hopefully I've put it up on the screen for the ABCD, but I'm sure Mark and Damonte will narrate it out, so maybe you'll get it that way. But which way do you guys want to work? A tier down or D tier up?
I don't know. I'm still throwing my list together.
Let's do A tier down. And you don't have to like just make the list right now with us, Mark. Okay, who's on your A tier list?
Well, I mean that's the thing. It's hard.
I mean, actually, mid lane is really weird this split too.
I agree.
Because there's so many different styles for every different team that it's like really weird. Because Niski is like not some like superstar pop-off player, but the role he puts on C9 is so insane, I feel.
It sounds like you guys are already making excuses.
No, it's not excuses. It's just like
yeah. Give me who's the people that you think are A tier mid laners in the LCS, Damonte.
So before I give mine, which I'll start giving in a second, I actually 100% agree with Damonte, because I was looking at like most played champions in the mid lane, like presence statistics and stuff, and there wasn't anything higher than like a 70% presence, which is usually not the case. Usually everyone's playing the same shit. It's like, okay, the mid lanes everyone's playing are Ryze, Cassio, Ori, Azir, right? Or like or like everyone's playing Syndra LeBlanc. This split, there's like not that many like OP mid laners that everyone's playing, so people have more flexibility to play like what works. So it's a harder split to directly compare players, because like Jensen and Niski are playing completely different shit, right? Or like whatever. Whereas normally you would want to directly compare those.
Great.
Like you could compare like Power Evil and Huhi, and it's like polar opposites. Like Power Evil is doing like 1 million damage every game and like hyper carrying games in this meta, and then
so what you're saying is Power Evil's A tier and Huhi is D tier. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So what? No, but literally, who am I pitting in these A tiers?
So my first one would be Jensen.
Same.
Okay.
Then I actually have Bjergsen as well.
I also have Bjergsen. Great.
Okay. I feel like there should be a rule you can't have more than 3 in a tier.
Well, I have 4 in B. I only have 2.
Okay.
I was also gonna go to B after this.
Okay. All right.
Damn it! Stop copying me. You go next. You go next.
Okay, and then I have Po Box there.
Yep, I got him in there.
Okay.
And then, I mean, I'm making mine on the fly. This is a little unfair.
I mean, Mark is making his too. Mark, do you want to give me a B tier?
I have all mine filled out now.
Okay.
I have Crown in B tier, and I actually think he's like A tier in skill, but from what I understand, he doesn't communicate that well with his team, which holds him back. So he's like almost A tier in terms of skill, but just not quite there.
Okay.
This is supposed to be why am I answering? This is supposed to be Damonte's list, dude.
Wait, this is purely for me?
You're both doing the list together.
I thought the caller asked for Damonte. Caller, who did you ask for?
Okay, I'd put Niski next. Niski is next.
Niski's on B tier. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who else, Damonte? You're still looking. Mark, back to B.
I also PoE and B tier.
PoE. Okay. Who else?
Are you making these separate? I'm looking at your thing.
Yes.
Oh, I agreed on Niski and Pobelter.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then I'm just gonna go to C.
All right.
And then
So you wait, Damonte. You only have 2 in B tier.
yeah.
Okay, sick. Great. Love it.
And then I'm gonna throw every single player into C that's left, and then
What?
in
No.
D I'll put Huhi.
No. No. You cannot
There you go.
have. Are you serious that or you think 6 players are all C tier?
Yes.
I feel like you just don't want.
I
to
feel like
put anybody
there's
in
so
D
many
tier.
inconsistent players right now. It's insane,
I
and
feel
everyone's
like you
playing so
don't
much
wanna
different
put
shit.
anybody in D tier.
No, I did. I said Huhi.
Oh, who he's in D tier. Okay.
Yeah. That's actually not that different from what I had Damonte Froggen and Phoenix in my C tier and Huhi in my D.
Okay.
But like the Crown one is an example of one that I think makes sense in C tier. Like I think he actually leads the league in deaths for mid laners. Yeah, he does. So like I'm clearly like overvaluing his skill versus his like output this season, right?
So you have Damonte, Froggen, Phoenix, PoE, and Crown in your C tier. Damonte.
Yeah.
Okay. I think is that everybody? Am I missing anyone? So Mark, to round it out, yours and for the podcast listeners, your A tier is Jensen and Bjergsen, B tier is Crown, PoE, Niski, Pobelter, C is Damonte, Froggen, Phoenix, and D is Huhi. Is
Yep.
that all the yes, that's right. Okay, and then Damonte, your A tier is Jensen and Bjergsen, then Pobelter and Niski, then C is Damonte, Froggen, Phoenix, PoE, and Crown, and D tier is Huhi. Is that correct?
Yeah. Actually, I put Crown in B. Actually.
You
can
put
move that
Crown in
one.
B?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Is that because
that's
of what
Damonte
happened in
doing
the-
that because he got. It's because he got solo killed by him this.
Yeah, that's
this
what I was gonna
last
say. Is
week.
that because of what happened?
Yeah,
in
pretty
the
much.
All right. Well.
Fuck.
he got himself upgraded. Right. Okay. Well, there we go. So that answers the question. What do you think, caller? Do you have any thoughts on the rankings, or do you feel anybody's in the wrong place?
No, I mean I think the list is perfect. Other than I was surprised that both of you guys put Froggen as a C tier, not D tier, considering he can't play any real meta champions. I mean this week he played really well on the Victor, but like with Karthus did they even? I don't think they even won the Nivea game, right?
I think they lost, but I think that was against Team Liquid or something. I forget.
Oh, okay. It just I don't know. Like, what makes you guys put Froggen as a C, not a D tier?
I think he can be kind of limited in his playstyle and champ pool, but like the wins that Golden Guardians have gotten this season have largely been off his carry performances on things like the Karthus, Anivia, and now Victor recently. So I think he might be more limited than some people, but he's also had some really, really good games.
Damonte.
We were talking about Froggen. Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Damonte's distracted because he's sitting there trash talking Niski in the chat. I look over, I hear
No,
this
okay.
typing, and then in chat, Damonte pops up as like, "You're trash. You're fuming." Blah 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 at Niski. Like, please.
Okay, for Froggen, it's
pay attention.
No, Froggen at the beginning of this fight, he was trying to play like Galio and Urgot, and it was pretty bad. And now you're seeing his coach Anero making the great choice, and he's putting him on like Karthus, Victor, stuff like that, and he's really popping off now. So that's what I was saying with earlier. It's like every mid laner is playing so much different stuff. It's hard to rate everyone because like some mid laners are able to play the tanks and some aren't, and some are able to hyper carry and some aren't. So it's like pretty weird.
But to the caller's point, it feels like the Froggen's not playing like, oh, this type or this type. He's just playing Froggen champions.
Yeah, he's just playing comfort champions. It's true, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean-
Victor's pretty meta. So
Okay.
He is playing comfort, but he's also winning on those comforts, so it's like
Sure.
hard to say they shouldn't be doing that when they didn't win doing more meta stuff.
mhm.
Arrow says, I put him on Karthus, now give me a paycheck. All right. Anyway, Labuda Mike, thank you so much for the call.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one.
Travis, you want to do a dramatic reading where I'll be Niski and you can be Damonte?
Sure.
Of the
Wait,
Twitch chat.
you'll be Niski, I'm Damonte?
Yeah, what kind of accent does Niski have? I actually don't know.
European, bro.
I don't know.
Yeah, Europeans not.
You banter accent.
No, just a generic. Why is Damonte so insecure?
Messaged Aaron said,
Nah, but
why
Damonte just so insecure, man.
Yeah, why is Damonte so insecure, man?
Okay. Niski, you're trash. Keep playing List and Galio.
You forgot the lol. You got a lol.
Lol.
Playing Silas smurfing on some kids with 20% win rate in solo queue. Imagine.
Damonte said, you're fuming.
Where's my next line? I'd win versus you with one hand, man.
And then Damonte, was that it?
I think that's when you called him out.
Okay, cool.
Nah, but
right. See, this is what we have to do now to get trash talk going. Is like they're literally only willing to trash talk each other in the Twitch chat on the show. On the show, fucking Damonte's like, yeah, I think Niski, he's B tier. You know, he's pretty good. And then in the Twitch chat, he's like calling him. I'm like, come on, people, get it going. Jesus.
I'm not calling with that.
No response, dude. It's doomed.
Jesus. All right, whatever. Anyway, let's move on to the next caller. By the way, I don't want to jinx it, but I think the audio might have resolved itself. The internet might have fixed itself, so. Srayo, thank you for the 3 months. Dadarus gifted a sub to Dashing Bay. Thank you, Dadarus. Dadarus gifting a ton of subs. Captain Crouton. And then That's What's Up, 777 for the 4 months. And by the way, I just want to point out, the bit leader, there's only one person on the bit leader board, 200 bits. That could be you. You could be the bit leader. And everyone would be jealous. And your significant other would finally be interested in you. After all this time. Hey, it's Anero. Anero, welcome to the show.
Wow.
What up?
Where are you calling from?
Anero. Lord.
Hello?
Hi. Where are you calling from, Anero?
I'm calling from Venice.
California. Okay, cool. Wow,
Yeah.
That Golden Guardian salary must be pumping up because Venice is not a cheap place
Is it
to live.
expensive?
It's the opposite of Martha's Vineyard, I believe, is what most people refer to it as. Whatever
I don't know what that is, but I'm making the same as I made on Echo Fox, man, so I'm chilling.
Damn, okay. So what?
So
half a
narrow.
mil?
Not even close.
Okay, well.
Real quick, Anero, since Damonte thinks I hate him when he sees me. Anero, you would say we're cool online, but have I ever spoken to you in person?
You've never said a word to me, and I'm also mildly convinced you might not like me either.
Wait, really?
You've never said a word to me in person, but that's most pastors. You've never said a
fair,
single thing.
To be fair, I've known Mark for like 6 years now, and I've been working with him professionally for 3. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't like me. So I'm right there with you guys. I understand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people think the same thing about me, though.
The other day, Mark's girlfriend messaged me, and she's like, "Do you think Mark doesn't like me?" I'm like, "Man, this is getting rough."
She told me her friends were scared of me.
Yeah.
Like, they just didn't think I was an approachable. I guess I'm not an approachable person.
Well, I mean, we would be getting way more calls on this show if you were a more approachable person, but all right. Whatever. Anero, what did you want to talk about on the show tonight?
I mean, Travis, are you the one who moved me into the waiting room?
Yes, because you were putting stuff in the topic chat.
Did you see what my questions were?
No, it was something about Bitcoin, I think.
Yeah. It was not a real question, Travis. I was just hanging out, and I was bored in your chat.
Okay, well, if you're putting stuff into the topics chat, you need to be ready to get pulled in.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. Tanner,
I still own my Ethereum.
Nice. I'd cash out fast, but real question, Tanner, who's the worst team in the LCS and why?
The worst team in the LCS and why?
I think we probably have a 100 caller waiting, so maybe we don't need to spend too much time on that.
Since everyone's trying to hard bait you into trash talking something, I'm going to join in.
All right. 100 Thieves.
All right, and why?
I mean, he
All right,
did
this is
just
a great
rank
call,
Kuhi
guys.
in D tier.
Okay,
so-
wait. I'm really just thinking about this because I know the next time I'm gonna play them, mid diff is just gonna be too huge.
The mid difference is going to be too huge.
Holy fuck, this trash talk.
The best part about trash talk like that is like if Puhi slams Damonte, it's like, you know, you weren't wrong. You know, mid difference was too big, just not how you thought.
Yeah, exactly. I do like that we've got a clutch player trash talking 100T right now. Like literally
It's
just at
perfect.
the
That's
bottom of the
the only
standings.
team. Yeah.
They're
It's
going
the
at it.
You give whatever the substance.
He's like,
It's the hype.
listen, we're both tied for last place, but you're definitely the worst.
It's too sad.
It's good. I like it. This is what the show is, you know.
The funny thing is, like, I was saying I was biased against Clutch before just because in my preseason power ranking, I put them 10th, so I'm like, please do that. But I also bought 100 Thieves stock. So,
Did
like,
you?
I think they're kind of garbo, and I really regret doing it, but now I'm just their fan for another week because I own their stock from the stock market segment.
And you're still actively rooting against Clutch.
Well, I have one Clutch stock, actually, so I hope they win.
Do you have any GGS stock?
No, ever since you guys
Ah,
fucking
fuck you,
tanked
man.
me. You
Mark.
fucking tanked me the first 2 weeks. I don't believe.
And you sold. You sold fast?
I
you didn't
sold-
fucking
I
hodl
sold-
or what, bro?
I did not hodl.
I mean,
I did not believe.
I mean, would you be in an okay place right now if you had? I mean, they've won a couple times, but I
Yeah,
imagine.
if I held it, I think I'd be okay because I owned their stock during their 0-4 portion, and now they've gone 4-2 since then. So I think I'd be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. All right. And Aaron, do you have any other questions for Damonte, or was that the whole point of this segment?
I mean.
Damonte, do you have any
Say
questions
something
for
about
Nero?
Galio, bro.
There's something about Galio. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no one got the meme, but in our match against Clutch, we first banned Galio and then first banned Lucian. So when we did internal scrims on Echo Fox, that was a very common matchup where Tanner would play Galio and Froggen would play Lucian. So it was just like a little internal meme that we all got, and I think we all just looked at each other and laughed on stage, but no one else would have
So wait,
understood.
you were memeing with your bands?
Definitely wasn't memeing, but it just happened to happen, and we knew we were going to ban it first, and we knew they would ban that first, so we
Okay.
made sure to ban Galio first, just for
Gotcha.
the haha.
Just so that Damonte gets it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Damonte, do you have any questions for Nero?
When are you gonna bring back your long hair? I really miss it.
That's never coming back. That was a really good social experiment, but I think we're gonna keep that one, away from everything.
Was it longer than the Echo Fox days, or was this something else?
No, that's what I'm talking
It
about.
was the Echo Fox days. It's now just migrated to my facial hair. We're chilling with that.
Yeah.
I'm never doing this again.
Hey,
It's
Nero, do you have
tragic.
any final thoughts before we move on to the next caller?
No, just patiently waiting for Tanner to hurry up so we can play Crunker or something.
Nice.
Oh.
Alright.
See ya.
What is Crunker?
You don't
It's
know
the best
Crunker?
game ever. You really gotta play Crunker. You need to get on the wave.
I'm on the auto chess.
Yeah,
train. What's
auto
Crunker?
chess. What is up? Night
It's
6.
Crunker.io. The best
Oh, it's one
game.
of these IO games.
Yeah, but it's like
It's like Minecraft
it's like a
CS:GO.
real game. Yeah, that's actually a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
It's too good.
Right. Anyway, see you later.
Alright, so yeah.
By the way, somebody in chat says auto chess is dead. Let me tell you what's dead. Artifact. There were apparently 3 viewers on Twitch last night watching Artifact, and one of the streams was somebody who was streaming a replay or a rerun, and another person was streaming Apex Legends that just forgot to change their category. So there was actually just one person watching Artifact last night, which was...
Damn, Crunker is so laggy.
Right, don't play Crunker right now. Talk to me about how Artifact is dead. That's what I'm enjoying.
Oh, is it? I mean, but that thing was like a stillborn, you know? Like it
Jesus.
didn't come out alive. Came out dead.
All right, let's grab. We got 15 minutes. We got 3 more callers to go, so let's run through it. Thank you to the bits. There's a bit war happening right now. If you're listening to the audio version, that's what those pings are. I don't know how to turn them off, but Roranoa Poro, thank you for the 10 months. Wow, 10 months. And then Pluto7443 through 1500 bits sent me. Thank you. Dadarus gifted a sub to Pharaoh Mustang, and then Rivs of Fly sent 1,000 bits.
Travis, I think this is your call.
Okay. Oh yes, Nikleos. I pulled you in here because Mark doesn't have the balls to take this call.
I didn't. I stopped looking 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. He was afraid that somebody would bring this up. You know, he's just a shill for the LCS broadcast. But I am willing to have the conversations that need to happen. Niklos, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Santa Clarita, California.
Okay, I believe you've been on the show. Were you on like last week?
I was on.
Yeah,
last
you couldn't pronounce his name for the life.
Yeah.
I still can't pronounce it, I think. And also, can you move a little closer to your mic because you're a little quiet? There we go.
Is this better? Okay.
Yes, I like how your testing
My voice
of it was
is low.
clearing your throat into the microphone.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yep. All right.
I have a low voice.
It's fine. It's all good. What do you want to talk about on the show tonight? I already know.
So I wanted to talk about how Riot does not use the time in between weeks to advertise effectively, and in between matches, like the break period between every game, to advertise anymore. They've actually never advertised before, but they used to fill the time with like little mini interviews between players or like with trailers for their featured matchups, and they haven't done any of that. And
yeah, so when you say advertise, we shouldn't say advertising sponsors. You just mean like literally promotional content for the LCS.
Well, they could advertise jerseys, you know, like they have the store in the studio to sell jerseys, and they don't even advertise those. And now
Well, they
this
don't
whole
sell the jerseys in the
variations.
store in the studio, which by the way, I don't know why. But
Wait, they don't sell them there? I didn't even know that.
Also,
I thought they
apparently, we're lagging.
Wow.
Or we got dropped again. Riot's pulling the plug. All right, so you were just saying though, yeah. So they don't sell. I don't know why they don't sell jerseys in the store right now, but shout out to the new. They used to sell them, so shout out to the new We Are Nations partnership, because I don't know why they can't get that together. But yes, so you're saying they aren't doing as much promotional content.
Yeah,
and they do advertise merch on the stream, as Avli's pointing out in chat. But they...
Yeah, but like they could put in like a little mini trailer with like a voiceover that's like a little bit more production value. Like putting on a screenshot, like half the time they have the shots of the players making a goofy pose in like the standings.
Yes.
And for another like 30 seconds, they'll advertise like a jersey from one of the teams. But how much sicker would it be to have like a voiceover from like Bjergsen about like what the TSM jersey means, and like, or Damonte about like why he joined Clutch, like what he's going to pull out this season, you know? Like it would be so much better to advertise in that way with an actual commercial than like a techie song playing in the background while players are standing in front of
100%. So what I've always wondered, because I'm watching it at the studio, and so I don't get to see, but I always assumed that on the Twitch and the YouTube channels they were running ads at that point in time, but I don't know, maybe they're not.
No ads play.
Are you running ad block, Niklios?
No, I don't run ad block because people like you need the revenue, so I don't run ad block.
I run ad block, but they do run ads during that time.
Oh, they do run ads. Well, I can't imagine, because sometimes it'll be like it feels to me, and I'd have to go back and look, but it feels to me like it's like 3 or 4 minutes long. I can't imagine that they are running 3 or 4 minutes long worth of ads. Sorry, when I say ads, because I know they run a State Farm ad that is baked into the broadcast, and they run an Alienware Area 51 ad that is baked into the broadcast. I am specifically talking about whether or not they are the same way I can press a button to run an ad on this channel right now, if like they're letting Twitch and YouTube serve ads. Do you know if they are, Mark?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They don't have Twitch ads playing during the broadcast. It's just the baked-in State Farm stuff and the Alienware.
I could be wrong. I thought they also had, and Twitch chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they also did have Twitch ads running.
Yeah, so people are saying no ad block and literally never seen a Twitch ad during LCS. Then somebody says they have 2 minutes of ads. So I don't. Some people are saying they do. Some people are saying they don't.
Twitch ads do run. Everyone's saying they do.
Regardless,
I've never seen a Twitch ad.
Okay, a bunch of people are saying that they do. So, listen, sometimes it just gets served to different people and not to others. It's sometimes random like that because it depends on inventory and who's getting targeted and all that. So, just because you don't see it doesn't mean that they're not running it. But a lot of people on Twitch chat are saying they definitely see Twitch ads on LCS broadcast. So let's just say that they do.
But regardless of that point, I'm not even talking about like advertising in general. I'm more talking about advertising towards the partners, like the teams in the league.
Yes.
Like advertising TSM's jersey, advertising the match between like TSM and Cloud9, like how important that is. Stuff like that. Like, where is that content? We're not getting any of that anymore.
I mean, one of the things I would really
posted
like
a
to
bunch of
see
links. Yeah.
is them advertising the team content. Because I talked about this in that video that I did, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something, but there's like FlyQuest and Golden Guardians, who in the past have gotten flamed for not putting out content, have been putting out a lot of content this split, and it just doesn't go on Reddit or whatever, and so it doesn't get as much views. I actually think it'd be perfect to show clips from that content or the content itself or whatever. I think there's just so much they can do rather than having like the dead screen sitting there. And I can't imagine that the Twitch ads are running for like the full, what feels to me like 4 minutes at a time sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, like remember like Breaking Point? They Team Liquid made like a trailer for that. Like, how awesome would it be to have like a trailer for Squad or TSM Legends, like from last year, like when they go to Worlds or something, something like that, or like the Netflix trailer, for instance, as an example.
And by the way, a couple people on Twitch that are saying yes, they do run it during the pre-countdown, but the pre-countdown has like 10K or 20K viewers. They're not running it during the middle of the show whenever it's got, I don't know, like between Twitch and YouTube, hopefully 200K. So that feels like it'd be far more significant and a much better way to provide value to the franchises.
And they have so many breaks that are like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Between
what they
every
should
match.
really do, let me tell you how to save the LCS. You get Damonte on there, and you get him to do bounties. So, Analyst test tosses, you have like the couple ads that play, and it goes to Damonte, and he's going to use the bounty board to watch
the Twitch
ads.
bounty board system?
Twitch bounty board system. Damonte's playing games for 30 minutes between games.
Well, we haven't talked about this, but the Twitch bounty board system got crushed in terms of
Oh, yeah,
how much its payouts are. It's not.
Well, never mind. We can't save the LCS. It's doomed.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, I completely agree. I don't know. So Mark, you don't need to feel obligated to say anything here because you're part of the broadcast. So if you just sort of, throw your hands out, I understand. But do you have any thoughts?
I don't know anymore because people are saying they don't play ads between matches, but other people are saying they.
I mean, even in a world where they do play some ads, I can't imagine that they're playing like 4 minutes worth of ads. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still 3 or 4 minutes. It's not you.
I mean, I think they can do more. I definitely agree. I think some things you would have to like actually pay attention to, and you do them because I think a lot of times people are like, yeah, let's shoot ads of Bjergsen talking about buying a TSM shirt or something, and like maybe that works, but you should also actually do the analytics to follow up on if that actually works, because it might not, and you're just wasting time and resources to do.
But wouldn't anything be better than nothing?
Well, I'm just saying it's better than wasting time on something that has no effect, because then you're actually spending time and money on it. But I mean, like the team content stuff that exists, you have to pay someone to cut it and bake it in there and spend, like you're paying someone to put that stuff in there. And you need to decide if that's worth it. Because that means someone's going to have to watch all the team content and compile a list of team content, and then cut all the team content, and then splice it into the broadcast.
Does Riot need to do that? Couldn't they ask the teams, as partners, to if they wanted to?
So Mark's point, though, they'd be wasting their time too. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. We have to move on, and Damonte's half asleep during this conversation. I don't know, Damonte, if you have anything, you don't have to say anything, but I don't know if
Wait, no, I know. Don't they play like before the day starts? They play like a bunch of the team content
on Sundays. They do, yeah, but they have significantly less viewers. Is a problem.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the only time I see the team content on broadcast. So,
yeah. Anyway, Nikleos, any final thoughts?
No, I just wanted to get that out there, and I hope I've watched the broadcast for 5-6 years now, and I feel like the amount of advertising for games, for matches themselves, has gone down.
Oh yeah, there's less hype, like videos or whatever being released ahead of featured matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to make it sound like I don't think that more should be done, because I do. I just think more needs to be smart too, not just more in general.
Yeah.
People in the chat, by the way, are saying that it could be because of Twitch Prime. Because people that are grandfathered into the old Twitch Prime system where you would not have to see ads, like that might be the case way.
I mean, I wasn't even talking about Twitch ads. I was just talking about like they have some baked in ads like the the State Farm stuff, but they could be doing more with
Well,
that.
you can't
That's all I
run.
was saying.
You don't want to run any real content if you're running ads over the top of it because it encourages people to do ad block.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for the call.
All right. Have a good day.
Have a good one. All right, moving on to last two callers here of the night. I am. By the way, we got some more stuff here. We got The Lost Remedy for 2 months, Duo Pact, who sent a Prime sub, Pizza Rat 87, great name, and Rivs of Fly sent another 1,000 bits. Says, let's finish the show with a 100T discussion. I don't know if we're going to. I don't know who Mark has pulled, but I'm ready to let Damonte let loose against 100T, as we've already seen he's willing to. Very excited. Rassenkin, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York.
Well, welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
I wanted to talk about how the two teams that are going to slide into playoffs after the top four are going to be Golden Guardians and... Sorry, Damonte.
Wait, Golden Guardians and who?
And Optic.
Optic. All right. Well, Damonte, I'm sorry you're not making it to playoffs, but Rassenkin has called it. Why do you think Golden Guardians and Optic?
Well, personally, I think that Golden Guardians have been on the upswing in the last few weeks. I think most people can agree on that. Also, they seem to have found a playstyle that kind of fits them, with Froggen playing like these kind of scaling, pretty strong picks in mid lane. With like Azir buffs coming in next patch, Azir has actually gotten really good. So I think that could be a champion that could shift the meta, because Azir kind of distorts mid lane, so it kind of fits into Golden Guardians better. Also, Optic have, most people know, the best early game in the league, at 15. I think their lead is the best. And it's mostly just they need to convert that into something better in the mid game, which is possible. You grab an early lead and you just need to learn how to close the game out quicker. And I think that's why they'll edge out over CLG and Echo Fox. Echo Fox looks really inconsistent. Even you could say they're consistent 1-1, but that's just inconsistency to me. And CLG, I just think their pieces aren't good enough to keep together, especially on the top jungle. And Golden Guardians, also Optic, too old Clutch, so Clutch can't make playoffs if Optic tie.
Damonte, what do you think about Optic and how good they are? Do you have any thoughts on them?
I think they're pretty solid. I think of all the bottom 5 teams, they're probably the most solid out of any of them. I feel it feels like the other teams kind of just randomly will. I mean, the 2 games that I played was Optic. It was the first one, both games I felt like they just played well. So maybe I'm a bit biased in this, and I didn't really watch all the other games that closely. But I feel like they played just solid games when I played versus them, versus when I played versus the other bottom teams. Most of the games were just fiestas. It just felt like they're a bit better than the other ones. So I'd kind of agree, yeah.
I think the thing that scares me about Optic, and they did play 2 of their better games against you guys, actually, all things considered.
Yeah.
But what scares me with Optic is that it sounds like the problems that they're facing are pretty serious, where we've heard Meteos and Big have different opinions on a lot of stuff, and so if they can't fix that, then they need to go to Dardoch maybe, or maybe they pull Big out and Gate comes in. Does that mean Asta comes in? So they have pretty serious concerns that don't just but we worked together when things got better, So I think a team like Clutch doesn't have those same concerns. Same with a team like Golden Guardians or it's one other outside the playoffs I can't think of right now. But anyways, I think they actually have some of the more serious problems of teams not in the playoffs because they have really different stuff. They have options, but it's still a problem you need to fix, and you're not guaranteed to fix it.
Damonte, why is this guy wrong? Why will Clutch make it in over at least one of these teams?
I mean, it really is just depending on how our practice goes, right? I still feel like we're making like a turnaround right now. Like last week, we kind of showed that we like are playing well again, and like literally all the clutch players have been saying in like interviews and stuff that our scrims have been going well, but we just haven't been training on stage, which is pretty true. Like when we won 2-0 in the first week, like our scrim record was like 25%, and then like now our scrim rate is like way higher. It's like well over 50% now. So it's like as long as we are able to translate that, we should be able to go to playoffs. But losing O2 to Optic actually is a pretty big deal, because that means if we do go 9-9 and they also go 9-9, they will just get the spot. So basically, we have to shoot for 10-8 at this point, which means we can only lose one more game. So,
Takes. Well, I mean, Optic can lose some more, right?
Yeah, that as well.
Well, I think the worst thing is that Clutch, in their final week, plays Cloud9 and TSM. So those two teams are probably going to not get worse as time goes on. So, and when teams get better, like for Clutch to get better than TSM and Cloud9, it'd have to be a pretty insane kind of growth for those to beat the second and third place teams in the league. So, like, I just don't think, just the way their schedule fits out, that their last week is probably their hardest week. I just don't think they can, even if they went, they run the table before then, they're still going to take 9 losses if you think they lose to them in the last week.
Yeah. Well, this is a rough call. Rasenkin, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say before we move on to the next caller?
100 teams last, and Golden Guardians taking third. Just putting it out there.
Wait, what'd you say?
Third.
Golden Guardians taking third.
Golden Guardians is taking third?
Yeah.
They're defeated.
In regular.
In the regular split, they're going to end up moving up to third place?
Yep.
Damonte, you don't need to worry about what this guy thinks anymore. He's clearly high. It's just worthless now.
Thanks, Rasenkin.
They beat TSM once. They just need one more.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good one.
You too.
What a banger prediction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, this is how people end up famous, because they make these predictions, and then 3 months from now, there's a guy called in halfway through the split and predicted Golden Guardians would get third. Yeah. Anyway, we got one last call. By the way, after the stream, or after the show is done, I am going to be streaming with Ovally. Anybody wants to stick around and hang out with me and Ovally. Ventus Official has returned to the show. Ventus, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from DC, and this is actually my first time.
Awkward.
I have subscribed a lot.
Yeah, I've read your name so many times as a subscriber that it feels like you've been here all along with me every show. I feel more connected to you than I feel to Mark.
Yeah, I've been there in spirit the entire
time. Yeah. Thanks for being a Twitch sub, by the way. What do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
So I was going to ask Damonte, what are some things that he didn't expect from pro life, like before he became a pro, that like surprised him, and what are some pros and cons that people like fans and people outside the industry wouldn't know about pro life?
Shoot, probably the biggest pro. I think now this year I'm starting to feel it more, because like I'm starting to be less of a random. It's like, for me, it's like I can tweet the stupidest shit and then everyone loves it. It's pretty funny to me. I'll just make some random tweet and then it bangs and then I'm happy.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah. Actually, I'll just go to yesterday on my Twitter. I tweeted out a DNA strand, and the DNA strand was just a bunch of yeehaws, and I got 5,000 likes and 900 retweets, and I was just a big fan of my stupid tweet.
Did you steal this from somebody? I assume you stole this from somebody.
It might have been nabbed, but you can go even further back. And I tweeted that I wanted to toast a donut, and it also banged.
So your favorite thing about being a pro is that you get more likes on your tweets?
Yeah, and then my game day tweets are also bangers. I tweeted, if I win today, I hope I get a girlfriend. It banged. I lost, so I didn't get a girlfriend, but it banged. That's all that matters. But actually, like more serious though, it's like from pro life to when I was trying to be being a pro, it's not that much different. Like I'm still just spending all day long playing league. It's just that now in person with people, so like, it was hard to adapt to it first. Like I had to realize I had to be like not socially awkward, not socially like stupid, and that was like the biggest change. But I'm pretty used to it now. But I'd say the black and white of off season and on season is pretty hard to handle sometimes because during season you have no time to do anything, and then during off season you just have all the free time in the world. So it's pretty weird transitioning sometimes.
Okay. Is it like more mentally stressful than you thought? Because every time I see new pros and stuff like people like that come into the scene, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, it's such an amazing time. Same with being like a professional streamer, which I do agree. That would be like, it's an awesome job. But I feel like with especially people in esports and a lot of streamers, I feel like I see a lot of it, like it can take a toll like on their mental health sometimes, like just or burning out. Like, do you do anything to avoid that? Like, did someone talk to you about this, like your coaching staff or anything like that? Talk to you about that, or is it just like not as big of an issue as like I would think it would?
It definitely took a toll on me. I mean, I got banned last split, if you remember that or know that. Like during that time, I was like not really taking care of anything in my life. I was kind of just playing League all day and ignoring, and that resulted in me getting really mad and saying stuff in solo queue I shouldn't have. So it definitely took a toll in that sense, and now I'm kind of doing more to fix that and like make sure stuff like that doesn't happen. And I think as like LCS players get older, they all kind of realize that. And that's why people who are older, it's like the older players in LCS probably they spend less time playing than the youngers do, just because they want to make sure like they're healthy in their mindset.
Okay, thanks. That was really interesting.
Thanks so much for calling in, Ventus. Always appreciate your calls. They are always insightful and really appreciated. Thanks so much.
Damonte, have you been recognized in public?
Wait,
Like,
Ventus, do you have anything you want to say before you leave?
Yeah, can I give a shout out to Team Liquid Steve for setting up a viewing party in DC for free?
Yeah, I think you
shout
just did.
Shout out to Steve. Yeah.
Thanks.
And Alienware for all their great things.
Yeah. Cool.
Damonte, have you been recognized in public somewhere, just like at a mall or anything?
No, I haven't. Never.
That's the real.
Is it you just get the fat dopamine hit as soon as that happens?
No.
I swear to God, when I am on a date, I have a higher chance of getting recognized than when I don't. You would think that like I am paying people to come up and like ask for a picture with me when I'm on these dates, because it's just like I don't know what it is, but the chances
dates,
of it.
It's plural.
Well, you know, I try to fit in a couple of days.
It happens like twice a year, dude. Let it happen.
It's pretty good.
I was just, it's one in 2017, one in 2018, hoping for the 2019 one. It's a work in progress, you know. If you've got any pro tips, Damonte, that'd be great. I hear, should I be trying to get people to call me Big Papa?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
And then also just become a pro player, and then every e-girl will love you.
Oh, is that how it works? Please, let's talk more about this.
You want some League of Legends lessons, and then, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Great. Thank you. Mark, you were going to say something.
I was gonna say about the like fans in public thing. It's not as cool. I mean, there's times where it makes you feel cool, like the one Travis talking about, where there's like someone you're trying to impress or something. But most of the time, it's just like, hey, what? And then it's really awkward because they don't know what to do. Because they'll go, are you Tanner or are you Damonte from Clutch? And you'll be like, yeah, and they'll be like, and then they'll kind of just hover around. It's not good. It's like, do you want a picture? And then like you feel like conceited for asking if they want a picture with you.
Yeah, that I will say that. Whenever somebody, and you don't know if they like are afraid to ask for a picture, and so it's like, should you offer the picture because they're like afraid to ask, but you just look like a jerk if they're like, no,
like they didn't want the picture. Yeah,
they don't want a picture.
Wait, maybe you're also biased though, Mark, because you said you're antisocial, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was at the mall this weekend, and I was wearing a bunch of C9 shit, and probably middle school kids kids, maybe early high school kids, were like, "Whoa, are you on C9?" I just said no and walked away as fast as I could. I didn't want to be like
that kid later on was like, "I got the impression that guy doesn't like me. I don't understand what."
Well, my other option I almost said was, "Do you guys know Shroud?" And just tried to pretend I was friends with Shroud.
That's good. Yeah. My younger brother is not really impressed by me, but he is impressed that Kelby works with Ninja. And one time I went to dinner with Ninja, which was true, and he was very impressed. But he doesn't give a shit about me as a person.
Well, that's because you don't interview Fortnite people.
That's true. All right. This has been a great show. Damonte, do you have anything you want to promote or plug or throw out there?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the stream. I mean, can I plug like my own stream?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Just follow me. Twitch.tv/Damonte. I've been streaming as much as I can. And you'll find my YouTube there as well. I've been uploading like weekly vlogs, trying to give more insight on Clutch and like what is happening. So yeah, I've just been trying to give more stuff to all the fans. So check it out.
Appreciate it. You said you
And
got a vlog going up tomorrow.
I
right?
hope. Yeah. My next vlog will be tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully Clutch will start winning soon. I think we are actually turning it around right now. And when we do, I promise.
Oh, you cut out. You promised what? Wait, now everyone's cut out? I'm unmuting Skype.
Am I back? Hello?
What?
You guys completely cut out for
Skype is
like
muted.
a while. You said
Yeah.
you
No, I
promised what,
can't hear him.
Damonte? You start winning,
I
you
don't know what
promise
he's
what?
doing. Travis, can you hear me on Skype?
I have to unmute Skype now.
Yes, hello.
Wait, hello?
Hi.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. What were you going to say? You promised what, Damonte?
Hello? Hello?
Hi. Damonte.
What?
Is this a Skype show now?
Wait, can you hear me? Wait, can you hear me on Skype?
I can hear you. I can hear you on Skype. Travis can't hear us. I see him
I can
laughing.
hear you on Skype.
What's he doing? What's he doing?
What is he doing?
Wait, I can hear. I can hear myself on the stream.
Wait, Travis. What the fuck was that?
Oh, he's
Hello?
trying to. He's trying to talk.
Yeah, hello?
Hello? Can you tell Damonte to unmute on Discord?
He wants you to swap back to Discord off Skype. It's audio. Oh wait, Damonte, he needs you to swap back to Discord. Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Just mute Skype again, please.
Okay, I'm muted.
Okay, Damonte, what you promised your fans what?
I promise my fans that when Clutch starts winning, I will be giving the spicy trash talk to everyone in the LCS. But as a 10th place team, you can't fucking do that. So I'm sorry.
Travis, it was only on your end. I heard everything Damonte said.
Yeah, I know my internet's been shit this whole time. It's so frustrating, and
It should feel
I
bad.
officially apologize to the audience. Like it's really aggravating to have like a problem you can't solve that just fucks the show that you really like, and I'm very disappointed. So I apologize to everyone. Mark, what do you want to shout out and plug?
I want to shout out Damonte. He's been a great guest, and I believe when he says he'll bring the spicy trash talk, I think he's one of the more entertaining players, new players. Other than that, not much. I already said the other things. Yeah,
But you're excited for the trash talk, but you're still rooting for him to lose.
Yeah.
But you don't dislike him personally. That's what we've learned in the show. You
No,
don't
but I
dislike him
still don't
personally.
want to.
You just want his team to lose.
Wait, what are we
Right.
gonna do next time we see each other in real life? Are we just gonna
still
walk
not gonna-
past each other? Okay.
Yeah, I might like up now. What's up? But like,
What's good?
we're cool. I just
All right, I like it.
Other than that, Travis, you should copy Locodoco's tweet about the holy moly 1.2k viewers, and you should say with 1.5 whatever we got with Damonte to make him feel bad.
No. I mean, he had you on the show, so that dragged him down. He didn't as a guest. We had Damonte. Like, if it was just you on the show, we would have gotten terrible viewership.
I was just trying to make Locodoco feel bad, but okay.
No. I mean, he's congratulations to him because his show. I mean, we've been running for like a year or longer than him, so the fact he's getting good viewership right now is great.
They already have 31 episodes. They're crazy.
Yeah, they do. So it feels like they do more than an episode a week.
Sometimes they do, yeah.
Kind of weird.
I feel like we take off weeks too. We're like, did anything happen?
We did
between
like
splits?
50.
No.
I know we did 52 episodes last week or last year.
Yeah, but this year we definitely took some off.
Yeah, we took the 2 in the beginning, but we'll make them up later on because when we do multiple, whatever. Hey everyone, thanks for watching Hotline League. There's an audio version of this. I'm sorry about all the technical issues again. It's not Alienware. Some people like to meme about the Alienware production. It's just the internet. Their system is amazing, and we've been able to do 4K videos on the channel because of them. So thank you to Alienware. Thanks everyone for watching. Stick around because it's going to be me and Avli on stream doing some stuff. And
What kind of
catch
stuff?
you. What?
What kind of stuff?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Maybe I'll stick around.
Yeah.
We're
Tell
going
me.
to play Apex Legends if somebody wants to join us. If
That's a hard pass.
somebody wants a third.
Yeah, same. I'd rather play Conquer with an arrow.
This has been Hotline League episode 65.